This is Bear With Us podcast.
Well, can we add Gurrrl? I mean, we aren't all manly like you.
Okay. How's this? This is Bear With Us, girl.
No. More like Gurrrl, like a glitter bear.
This is Bear With Us, girl.
Perfect. This is Bear With Us, Girl, where we stir the honey pot with hot topics, body issues, the adult industry.
Fashion, news, pop culture, pup culture, and more.
From the bear perspective.
For and by the community.
I can barely stand it. Get it?
You're unbearable.
Well, hello.
And welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show. Bear with us every week. Brought to you by cybersocket.com, bringing you the best of gay erotica for over 25 years, by the way.
And sponsored by Bear World Magazine with their weekly Woof Report.
Woof.
Woof, woof, woof.
But it's bear, but then it's a woof.
I mean...
Do bears woof?
No, bears growl.
Do they bark?
So it should be the weekly,
growler.
The growler, but that's also a term for a poop.
Oh, it is?
Yeah. You ever heard he took a wicked growler?
No. Is that like a... You just made that up.
No, how did you not know that?
I've never heard that in my entire life.
Next time you go in the bathroom, that's a growler.
Oh, my God. Well, on that note, we have a lot to talk about today. Our guest of honor, you've seen Eddie Danger on Jonny McGovern's Hey Queen. You've seen him on the Howard Stern Show. You've seen him make appearances around the nation at every club. You've drooled over his Too Hot for TV Instagram. And you've probably watched his porn a few or many times. He is sexually fluid. You never know who's going to make him hard next. And he's very vocal about sexual inclusion, gay, straight, male, female, trans. It's all about the connection for him. And he is a total Renaissance man who has a master's. He's an accomplished poet, published author, and a musician. He could be the perfect boyfriend, the best bestie, or the best one-night stand you've ever had. Please welcome Eddie Danger.
Hi. Oh, hello. Hi. Look at me. I'm on camera. How is everybody doing? Hello from Washington, D.C. Hello, Los Angeles. Hello, Gurrrl. I'm about to take a grumpy upstairs, guys.
I see a dog next to you.
Yes.
A dog? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's emotional support. Oh, my God, he's so cute.
What's the story, Ruby? Yeah, she's I don't know. She's not a bear. She's not in porn.
No.
And she's not on Go-Go for the Gold, so she has nothing to say about this. But she was a nightmare working New York Fashion Week last year. Let me tell you.
No, Eddie, when you film, do you put her in the other room, or does she just sit there and watch?
No, she's a co-star of all my films.
Oh, my God.
Oh.
Can you elaborate, please, so we don't get demonetized?
Yeah.
No, well, this is the Bear With Us podcast. Now, bear with my bestiality.
Yeah, but it's not. Yeah, it's not bestiality podcast.
Okay. No, she has been my best friend and roommate for years and years, and she's very respectful. Listen, if I leave a pizza somewhere, she's not going after it. So we have an agreement. She knows when it's time for me to be intimate. She knows the whole routine. Everything's usually pretty normal.
Does she help pay? Does she help pay the rent?
No, but she pays the rent in dog shit, and I can't spend that in our economy right now.
No, it's funny because
It's worth more than my crypto right now, so that's fine.
but like
perhaps I don't know anything about it.
when so I have a dog, and when I have sexual relations, I can't have the dog anywhere near the room, in the room. Like it creeps me out to just have an animal stare at you.
You never post pictures of your dog, though.
Yeah, I do. Yeah. You never look at my stories though, because I check. I'm like, oh, I look at your stories.
No, Ruby stays very far away from the bedroom. But you know what I noticed at a young age, she would know when I come. Obviously, I think everybody in the building would know I would come, and she would then start to beat on the door because at that moment, then she knows Eddie is running out of material. He has to talk. Don't ruin this, Eddie. I need to put a puppy in the front of the person's face. They'll just distract him until we can get him out of the house because you're going to be a talker, and you don't want to be a talker after giving him quality dick. That's the last thing they're going to remember is that guy likes to talk a lot. Mm-mm.
No, Eddie, there's a stress in inclusion in LGBTQ media, and it's happening in the porn world as well. where there's more trans porn, there's more bisexual porn. You have been like sexually fluid before it was cool, so to speak. You've never had any trepidation of filming gay, then straight, then trans. Where did this kind of like sexual fluidity and confidence in that, where did that kind of come from?
Well, I mean, like everybody else, I didn't have a choice. It's exclusively gay men didn't have a choice to like men. You know, I mean, it's nice to believe that we chose our path through life, but I didn't want any of this. I've always wanted to fit in. I wanted friends, and I noticed that living in like these like a small town, there wasn't any community that said it was okay to have urges or want to be fabulous or seek out a life that wasn't heteronormative. And so. Yeah, I mean, I didn't have a choice, really. I think all of us, we do these unconscious things and to try to get out of it, you know, like this is getting weird. There's my real self out there, and I would really love a paradise where I didn't have to worry about those comments and things that kind of push me back and make me, you know, kind of trap me. So just like a bird, we start beating against the cage, and I would notice like all of these horribly self-destructive habits or like self-destructive thoughts or all sorts of crazy shit would come into my head, and I'm like, I'm not happy here. I'm not happy here. I'm not happy here. And as I began to strip away my binds to this horrible sort of reality that my personality and all my attributes weren't acceptable, I found myself alone, and I've lived in this bubble ever since. And when I started to go out into gay clubs and become a dancer, I just wanted to be a part of the community, damn it. I wasn't there to fucking be a star. I didn't want to be a star. I just wanted to be somewhere in the bar. I wanted a reason to be there. And my reason to be there was, hey, let me go dance and dress around. I flip-flop around like dressed as a Cupid or something. And yeah, that gives me a reason to be in the room. And therefore, as we've learned from retail, working retail helps you break out of your introverted habits. You know, there's a reason for you to be in a room, you're going to feel compelled to be like, hey, welcome to the party. I'm the host, you know, and that really helped me. So the more I could find myself enabled by this community around me, the more I could discover myself. And you don't discover yourself overnight. It's a course of I guess I have to be with girls because, hey, you know what? My family expects that. Hey, like all my world is economizing on women. So the value of a man in this heteronormative world is how you can relate to women, how many women you can get. And as you begin to convince yourself, hey, this isn't the way, this doesn't feel right, you have to figure out why and like what the deepest desires are, you know? And then as that comes out, then you start to kind of realize this is who I am, and fuck everybody who's gonna pick on me if I'm not that way. And on the other side, I would work in the gay clubs and I would have them gatekeeping, which they still do. I see all over all the porn sites, they're all saying, he's straight. Everybody calls me straight. I'm so sick of that bullshit. Because God damn it, I was banned on Grindr for 2 years. And
How did you get banned?
Wait, why?
I assume it's a catfish thing because I did submit my driver's license a little while ago and I figured I was secure. But one day I had uploaded too many of my photos that were shirtless and showed some package. I guess that everybody at Grindr's clutching their pearls over packages when people are posting blurry photos of their abdominals. So I'm more dangerous showing my body. That's just a little too explicit than the freaks who are behind the sunset pictures, saying they don't want any exchange of information.
Well,
come to my dark corner and I won't stab you.
Did you hear that Grindr just became publicly traded, and because they're getting them on the the money to fund being publicly traded by a Singapore company. Now, mind you, that's a country where it's still criminally offense to be gay.
Yeah, and you probably can't get it there. It's probably...
Exactly. The app will be banned in where they're being financed.
Oh, my God. That's insane.
No, well, hey, that photo app that was turning everybody's faces into artwork is apparently a whole Russian conspiracy. So God bless that too.
I heard. So people are freaking out. They're like, well, if you did that cartoon version of you, then Russia has your information. But I mean, you can look on Facebook anyway. I mean, what are people so afraid of?
I mean, if you do that cartoon version of you, you're just trash. That's just what you should know. Like, I don't care if your dad was sold, you're trash.
I'm really surprised that all three of us can say that we haven't done it. That's amazing.
I personally like because I'm an artist and a painter.
Yeah.
And apps that try and replicate an actual artistic medium make me very mad, because I'll have people that'll post that being like, look what I quote unquote drew. I'm like, you didn't draw, because I know people that actually can draw that and would take, hours to do it. And you think your app on your phone is just as quality, like the quality of somebody who actually put in the time and effort? No, it's not.
Look at my fan art, guys. I got my new fan art.
Mm-hmm. I'm like, that's not. And I've had people tag me in like fan art. I'm like, you didn't fan art anything. You didn't spend time in anything. You used the app and sold your data. I'm not going to repost you.
Yeah, it sucks.
No,
it's crazy.
No, Eddie,
everybody wants to be a star, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Eddie, in your porn career, have you had any pushback from the straight community saying, "Oh, well, he films with guys," and then from the gay community, "Oh, well, he films with girls," or
so basically everybody's mad at you.
Everybody. I've spent my whole life with everybody being like, "You don't belong here in our world," and it's hilarious because especially when you go into West Hollywood, there is like, ooh, that's the epicenter of this mentality, and then it permeates outward, and of course. It's really hard to fit in anywhere as one of us, but I did notice there is an underground movement of folks that are just they're being trans inclusionary, and this is like opening up all these doors because people aren't seeing this division. And it's really incredible for me to see exclusively gay porn stars who we know as being the gay it boys, like going on and being like, I'm going to work with the different configurations of gender. And that's pretty cool because then guys like me, I used to have to look up to just a handful of dudes out there that were just like, you know what, I want to follow my heart and do what I want to do. Because you know what, I realized that a lot of the gay companies didn't make me feel all that great about the way they promoted this stuff, and the straight companies didn't pay well, and for the majority of the straight scenes, they look like garbage. I don't know what straight people are after these days, but their studio porn is really horrible.
it has gotten bad. Yep.
It's so bad. Like I look at the stuff that I could be booked for right now, and it's like. I could make it. I do make it better in my bedroom.
Yeah.
Like the only thing you're getting out of it is like a flight to some nowhere land, and then a slap on the ass after you get $200 or something. I don't know what they're paying straight guys these days, but it's not good. They're just happy to be there. They're like, I get to go home and report to my dad that I was in a straight porn having sex with a woman. Oh my God, there's evidence on camera, But yeah, I've gotten pushback from everybody. And the funny thing is that like when I was trying to be somebody when I was a little younger, when I had more chutzpah, I went out and I was trying to find those like PR representatives. Like, give me an agent that isn't just going to be sending me straight to the gay porn companies. I want somebody who's going to kind of help me grow and develop, because I've been running this whole enterprise myself out here, and I was thinking, okay, well then I'll try like a straight company because hey, we're taking on an odd case would be fun. And that lady laughed. She laughed. The ha is all in capital letters screwed across that Gmail. I was like, because of course you submit your photos. Yeah. And what are my photos in? Marco, who are my friends? Oh, yeah. Everybody's gay. Like my contacts are all drag queens, and this is very apparent that I embrace the community that has always embraced me. And that's where my loyalty lies. So when I saw the gatekeeping going on, it's like, I don't want to deal with that, But the basis of my big gripes with the gay community and how they treated my kind of just existence was that they always hated pussy. They would always say, Eddie, ew, pussy. And there was all this misogyny back then. That's all kind of gone. People aren't doing that anymore. But now they just kind of hold me to this. Like, you are searching the gay dollar. You're trying to take money from gay people. That's the big gripe they have these days. But I don't even work for I don't even dance at bars often. So I don't know what everybody's complaining about. And I make my own gay porn now. So, fuck you guys.
Now, did you have any type of coming out in your personal life? Did you go through a period where, oh, okay, I'm going to identify as gay and I'm going to come out, or identify as bi? No. No, I wanted a world, a reality where that would matter, where I mattered enough to hang in there with that sort of reality. And I think I hear a lot of stories about people coming up to their parents and I get all excited. I'm like, that's very sweet of you. That's not happening for me. And the way I was beaten against my cage, let me tell you, I was crazy enough. I'm still crazy. This shit's messed up. It's like all the trauma that comes with being an outsider and trying to realize yourself. And especially when you don't belong to any one territory, you can't even grasp onto like a persona. If
I couldn't just run around saying yes, gaga, because that wasn't the reality that I was in. My formative upbringing in sexuality was totally heterosexual, and nothing else was allowed, just like a lot of other people, you know. But no, I never came out. I think I came out by promoting the fuck out of my outness. So I think the second I started posting on social media and not giving a fuck. But I mean, there were definitely moments where my parents or the folks in my life would be alarmed, or they would question the fact that I was listening to the OutQ gay radio station on Sirius XM back in Frank DeCaro's day when he was having Lady Bunny, Bianca Del Rio, and all them on.
Yeah.
I loved Frank DeCaro. But I would get caught with that shit, or like my special interests videos, like Queer as Folk or something. When I would gain some autonomy to go research some queer shit, I would sometimes have to face that. And one thing that I did talk about in that one of these articles that I posted is that there was a special interest section, and in that special interest section, you would find all of this queer media. And oftentimes I would try to figure out if there was a way to discover this world without really having to be like, hey guys, I'm witnessing this other lifestyle that I don't think anybody here approves of, but I want to check it out. So you would find something that rides the line. Maybe doesn't say Queer as Folk right on it, but maybe Dante's Cove, because that's easier to smuggle out.
That brings me back.
Yeah, right. but that was it. I mean, I'm very stunted in that reality because that's where I was. And so when the Drag Race came in and everybody became a crazy sycophant, I'm still over here like, my big stars are fucking what are these? What is it? Frank DeCaro and his boyfriend. They were the first gay men to get married on the fucking radio live. I was like, hell yeah. So I mean, that's where I'm at. And it's been weird to face reality. So I developed a drinking problem.
Well, talking about reality, you and Teddy are part of the newest reality show to hit the waves, Go for the Gold. What's the show about? What's your participation in it?
Okay, well, the show is about Teddy Bear right here. It's all about Teddy. That's it.
It's a dating show for to match and meet with me, and for me to find love.
Can you imagine?
And I want to know if I won. Did I win your heart, Teddy?
I think we're saving that for season 2.
God damn it! See, this is what always. This is why men don't like me. They take one look at me. They're like, "No, not gonna happen." So, no, but seriously, I'm super excited to be talking to you, Teddy, right now. I mean, I feel like I'm in a forum right now, speaking to several people.
This is a TED Talk, actually.
Yeah.
A Teddy Talk.
I get it.
The jokes are built in. So wait, but I also wanted to say how good your dynamic is with Alex here, because Alex is a firecracker, and you keep the audio grounded, you know, with your deep voice, and you've got this calm persona. It's really nice. And that's calm. One thing that did stand out when we were working on this project is how great your fucking voice is. It's gorgeous and soothing. I'll take all your criticism, you know.
And I don't.
But yeah, the show is it's a competition reality show where 12 go-go stars are competing to become America's #1 go-go superstar star. And I don't think any of us got that name correct when we were competing for it. But either way, yeah, that's all of us. And I think these guys are great. They're all representatives of their community, and I think they're fantastic. And watching them develop over the time since we filmed has been incredible. It's weird. It's like this lightning strikes these people, and all of a sudden they become celebrities, or at least in my perspective, because they're stars to me since I know what they're capable of. You
know what I have stuck in my head now is because we've all had to post the social media. I keep like throughout the day, I keep saying "Go for the gold." Yeah. It's just in the back of my head on loop, and I'm like, oh, shut up! I'm trying to go to sleep.
Adam Joseph, stop it!
So I want to ask you, because I've actually gotten some negative feedback about posting the show. I've gotten some people that are offended by our TV show.
What are they offended by?
So I got a message today by somebody who accused the show of encouraging rape culture because it's promoting go-go dancers.
I don't understand that.
I'm not lying. He literally said like it encourages rape culture, and he used like our word. So what is your response to that?
Well, my response, my since I'm under the gun right now, hello government, don't shoot me. I'm concerned about this accusation. But you know what? One thing is that go-go dancers always need consent,
Mhm.
I hope we all obtained proper consent, or at least everybody involved obtained proper consent to be in the show. So I don't know about the rape culture aspect of it. I'm not talking about. I can't talk to rape culture because I'm not. I don't live in rape culture right now. I'm not a part of that community. But I do know that it is an inclusive fucking competition, and that's the criticism I've heard is that people look at that cast. They look at all the different types of bodies and they say, there's no diversity.
I know. That's the other message too. Like I've gone like, oh, it's all the same bodies, like same race, and I literally am like, we have every type of body. We have people that are fluid. We have people that are non-binary. We have trans. We have like multiple races. Like,
can you push that photo down? That one that you're showing, because in the bottom corner you got Bryant, who is fully effeminate.
Yeah.
Wearing heels. There you go.
Yeah. Thank you.
He's a little boy.
And they're like,
God
you're just promoting the mass stereotype of a white muscle man. I'm like,
no.
Bryant is doing that? Really?
No. What is the show? So every week it's like competition? Like, what's happening?
So each week they have to compete, and it's like there's different challenges. I mean, it's honestly very similar to Drag Race, but like for go-gos, which also makes sense because, you know, drag and go-gos are very symbiotic. If you think about like in our history and in our bars, like we have all existed together because we're all doing pretty much the same thing of putting on a show together for dollars.
Yeah.
You know what I connected this to? I went and did a little deep dive of go-go dancing in one of my CyberSocket columns, and I was thinking that maybe this might have had something to do with the Rocky Horror Picture Show, because we do have this depiction of the flamboyant, heavily made up drag queen alongside a nude muscular man that's parading around.
Yeah.
And I see this kind of permeating throughout all. You know, have you ever seen that Hands Across America, like Pride iconography, where you've got like the drag queen, and then you've got the lesbian couple over there, then the gay couple, and then you've got the naked man with in the underpants. It's been there forever. We're always holding hands with the drag queen. That's our counterpart, you know?
Because we look out for each other.
Yeah, cocks across America. You know? But I think I'm so excited to be talking to you, Teddy, because I just took a note on one outfit you wore, but I think you turned out some pretty crazy looks, and this is one thing that I really identified with throughout the competition. I was really excited about what is Teddy gonna wear, you know. You've got your look down pretty well, and you know, with a masculine kind of look, it's difficult to throw oddball stuff in there. But you pulled that Medusa look off gracefully, and same with that hat you were wearing. It all looked pretty cool. It was the same color as your beard. Where do you find a matching beard hat?
I mean, doing that whole show and doing each outfit each day, like I put a lot of thought into it, and it's also like what you said of, you know, I don't want to just do the stereotypical masculine, but I don't want to pretend that I'm this type of feminine that I'm not. Like I'm just want to be true to myself, and I'm really appreciate hearing that like it's something that I hope people look forward to each week.
Oh yeah,
because like I was very proud of it.
Well, I did, and I was living every second of it, and I didn't get bored. I stared at you for hours, and I was like, "There's always something new to pick off of this man. Pick it off and sell it to your fans. You know, if it smells." Too,
I don't think people realize too, like how long filming was. Like, because people see these shows and they probably think that we were up there for like an hour and 20 minutes. Like,
now it was brutal.
It was brutal, and we did all of it in a week. I mean, I know it's gonna like look in the show like it's month, but like we did it in a week.
Yeah.
Did they put you all up at the same hotel? Was there any shenanigans happening? Eddie, did you hook up with anybody in the cast?
You know how Max, you know how Max is like living out of his car?
Yes.
You know, Lucky him. Everybody lives in Los Angeles. I had to stay. I was staying in a hostel because I wasn't putting myself in a hotel. Nobody was paying me that much. I got back from filming something else elsewhere. So I blew through my PTO. Hey, good luck, Eddie, ever taking a day off of work, right? So I'm shackled to my cubicle right now. I'm not going nowhere, because I used all my PT. Just kidding. I built up some more, but it wiped me out. So I went and I went out there and I was staying in a hostel the whole time, and I was getting chased down by crackheads. I really shouldn't be calling them crackheads. But oh my God, this guy chased me down. He was gonna attack me. I had to keep all my outfits in the car in like one suitcase.
What's happening?
I mean, it's LA. LA is dangerous.
Yeah. And one person, and the thing is, like, I was out of it. Like, basically, quarantine ripped off all of my contacts in Los Angeles. I used to have a whole group of friends that I could stay with or whatever, but that wasn't the reality at the time. So then, of course, I ended up being very lucky and having somebody to stay with until we could finish this little project. But those days were long, and then the nights were even longer because I would have to be tossing and turning all night, hoping that I didn't get my ass kicked. Because every time I left the door, this guy was tracking me. He didn't like how much I smiled. He let me know he didn't like how weird I was. And he was posted right outside that door. Every time I came and went, sometimes he would follow me down to the car to threaten me. And but anyway, but I had a fabulous time when I wasn't staying in that hostel. But when I would arrive,
but this is what I love too, because when people see these shows, like in their head, they're like, oh, they're over there like living this glamorous life, like. They look at you, and you're literally telling this story. You're like, I almost died to do this show, so maybe don't attack me.
Yeah, I'm literally curled up on a tiny bed. They're just like, oh, go-gos. We have this design challenge. Well, whatever. So all of a sudden, I gotta figure out something. I live in DC. I don't have any resources. I have to go to a party city. If I could ever squeak like an hour into a day, maybe I could find a party city somewhere in Los Angeles. God knows where I am.
Thank God for Party City, by the way, because Party City also helped me whenever my outfit got lost in the mail, and I had to create an outfit in an hour before we started filming. Yeah, like Party City, you can do it.
What did you buy there?
My whole entire Medusa.
At Party City?
So the promotion, like on the promotion for the TV show, that whole entire Medusa look, that's Party City.
Oh my God!
That whole entire outfit is Party City. I thought it was
like a Marco design.
No, it was. I literally was like, shit, I lost my outfit, and we have to film the finale look today. I'm gonna go to Party City in an hour and make something. So if you need to go somewhere, promotion, like free promo for Party City, not sponsored.
But that finale look by Party City. Hey, take that to the drag queen podcasts that are busy being like, I don't like that designer. It's like,
is that Party City?
But yes, hey, we're go dancers. If anybody's spending a ton of money on our little panties, like, come on, you gotta budget. We're strippers at the bottom of all this,
So do you still do fashion shows? Because I know you've done Marco.
I mean, I've been no, but I'm very gig based right now. I honestly just take on projects. I haven't been tapped for much. I would have loved to do a fucking beautiful. Where's Alex? I would have loved to do this little gender fluid. We had something that we were cooking up. I would have loved to do that, but I don't know. I mean, I really just take projects. I'm working on aerial acrobatics right now. So if somebody decides they wanted me to parade around in their underpants, hey, I'll take a check anywhere,
No, and you have this, you kind of have this double life because you do work for corporate, like for a business, and then you have like this whole sexual career going on while you're, like you said, at a cubicle, clock it in. That must be kind of trippy for you to like juggle both of those lives.
Wait, is Eddie your real name or is that a stage name?
No, it's all real, baby.
Wait, so Danger is not your real last name, is it?
Danger's my middle name, and my last.
That's a lie.
Is Generazio.
Okay.
Yeah, Generazio is my last name, and my middle name is Danger, and the first name is Edward. So yeah, it's my real name, and I kind of got stuck in that in a weird way because I had quit dancing. I had like a stage name which would segregate my stripping life with all the nefarious friends I had accumulated, because we have social media, and you start to divide things. My grandma can't see this. Oh, my grandma's dead. So maybe we could pull that and bring it in here. And so what ended up happening is I was rejecting kind of that, and I would stuff away my stripper porn persona when I would like try to legitimize my life in whatever way people told me to do, and then I would eventually start implementing it into my real life. But I was at the AVN Awards with a girl I was seeing, and she was like, he's with me. And they put me on there. They put the little name tags that you get for the convention. Yeah. And I just said, here, I don't care. Just put here, give my ID. And they wrote Eddie Danger on it. And then the whole weekend, I was Eddie Danger, you know? And then when the Twitter tags were going on, it was like Nadia White and Eddie Danger at the red carpet. And I was like, guess that's what I'm doing now. And so, but I didn't get to change my name on other platforms. So it was just kind of something I tossed around until I figured I should start branding and parading around like you know.
What was your stage name before?
Christian Lizelle, stripper extraordinaire. I wanted to be as ethnically ambiguous as possible.
Christian Lizelle.
The Mighty Gazelle.
Christian Lizelle. That kind of that sounds like a pizza company.
Yeah. It was like I named myself after some girl that I went to high school with. That had the last name Lizelle, and everybody thought it was a stripper last name. And then my first gig as a go-go dancer, I walked up to Naomi Black at Club Ambush in Virginia Beach, and I said, "Hey, I'm ready to go, and my name's Eddie." She's like, "You're not going out there as Eddie. Eddie doesn't like it. That's not a sexy name." And then she named me Christian, and I was grateful for it, because just having that separation between who I was, because it would affect me when people called me Eddie after they said whatever horrible things to me on that box. I was dancing naked at Secrets, like with my cock and asshole flying around. And like you would have people that would say your name, or sometimes they would use your real name as a way to like kind of like affect you in a certain way. So the guys who did have stage names, like they would be kind of guarded about that. So it made me very uncomfortable after somebody said, "Oh, your cock looks nice. You look a lot like my son. I would love to suck your dick." And then they'd say my real name, and I'd be like, "This is all very uncomfortable. Can we not do that?"
I hate when people use like the real name thing, and it's almost like a weapon in a sense of them trying to be like, I know something true about you. And I don't like that. I'm like, you don't, because if you knew me, like my friends know me, you would know what to actually call me. And like, that's just, it's creepy. Yeah.
You know, and most drag queens prefer that too, that I know, because we're all a family. We all run shows together. I don't want to know your real name. Yeah. I really don't. You know, it's like one of those things where people would be like, "Oh, do you know, give me a typical porn name."
Cock Cockerson.
What?
Cock Cockerson.
Oh, Cock Cockerson. Oh, oh. Do you know Domino or Dominic?
Yeah.
And I'm like, who the fuck is Dominic? He's like, oh,
yeah,
Cock Cockerson.
Yeah.
Like, you don't know him on a first name basis.
Yeah, no, that literally is a thing. It's like, oh, yeah, it's so weird.
And they use that to get in, to weasel their way into your life, because this is what I always saw in the club when I would be dancing. They'd be like, "Oh, I know Trevor. That's not his real name. His name's this." And then he'd be like, "Oh, she's a mess. I drove her home drunk one night, blah blah blah." And they give you all this inside gossip. They say that to the newbies, so they would be like, "Oh, he's a trusted individual. I can trust him and make myself vulnerable to this person." And they keep doing that over and over again with every new person that comes in. They find out something, they construct this whole reality that they had this intimate relationship with this stripper, and then they lie about that to these newbies, and then in hopes of getting more information and more intimacy out of them. And then of course, as a regular in a strip club, you would always gain the trust of the establishment because you're spending money, and that further reinforces this creepy persona that these people are making, where they're like inserting themselves into the lives of the dancers that are present. You know, it's all very creepy, but it's a pretty normal thing. And they use that, like use intimate details, like, oh, they've got kids. Oh, they've got, their family life's fucked up. They will always give you intimate details, that they probably heard from some other creep.
And it's always funny too whenever you end up hearing the things back where you're like, well, I didn't know that about myself. That's interesting.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
That happened to me. Wow. First time I heard about it.
I wish I was there for that.
Yeah, you should have seen Teddy at Precinct the other night. He was a mess, girl. And then like all of a sudden everybody thinking you're an alcoholic.
Yeah.
They're listening to that guy.
So I one time had somebody who like I found through like a rumor mail from like a customer being like, well, somebody has told me that like the main reason why you're in porn is because you rarely talk to your father.
What?
And I literally said to them, I was like, well, yeah, I mean, he's right. I don't talk to my father because he's dead.
That's a long distance call.
And that's when the person went silent. And they were like, I'm like, yeah. So maybe don't listen to gossip.
Pregnant pause where they're sitting there fumbling for their wallet, hopefully to get out a dollar bill that ends
Apology dollar.
please take it. I'm uncomfortable.
No, Eddie, I want to talk about love and dating. Is it difficult for you to date? Because if you're dating a guy, if you're dating a girl, there's always the thought that you're looking at somebody else, or that you're not really committed because you were just with a girl last week and now you're with a guy.
That not so much as it used to be. People are a lot more open-minded now about my fluidity because they see me and how I interact with the world around me. And when I'm with a guy, there's no question that I'm into the moment if I am. You know, there's no question about any of that. But the big problems are up here for me, because I have an issue. And it's not with the indecisiveness. It's the level of trust that I have for people. Now I'm so scared of humans. Like, I just want to be left alone for the majority. You know, I want to feel safe, and I haven't felt safe a lot in my life. So I always go for people that are going to make me feel that sense of safety. And what I found is that more often than not, the guys that I do let into my life, they tend to breach that boundary. You know, whether it's gossiping about what I do in my private time, or telling people about what we do. That's always very uncomfortable. Or there's the sycophantic sort of weird behavior. I mean, like I said, I don't have friends that I like hang out with in nightlife. I mean, I've always been an entertainer. I just appear and I do things. I have a family. Like, I have people I can trust and talk to, you know, within the community. But I don't have people that I can chum up with. So, and I don't want people to be like imposing on my freedom to live the way I want to. So a lot of times when I would let people in, and it would always be like one or two at a time, like I'd be like, I'm very interested in this one guy, and I'm going to focus all my energy onto that person. But then you got to deal with the fact that they're running around, and you can't be treating me like your token porn star boyfriend. I don't want to hear that shit. You know, I don't want to hear about like how hot it is that you're fucking a straight guy. Like, I'm after one person. Like, I mean, you know, that whole demisexual thing. Yeah. That's kind of the route that I'm down. I mean, I definitely, I can fuck anything that moves, and I enjoy it and I love it. But if we're talking about love, and that was the question that you asked, it's a little more complicated, because that trust is often breached, you know, and I see it today, you know, even now. And I always respond to those men who like really entered my life, and they affected me a lot, and they have me around forever. They know that once they're here, they're always here. But the problem is that timing's not always right, and so is circumstance, and so is maturity. So sometimes people need to develop a little more, but I'm not gonna be able to meet in the same place that we met before. That's always the big problem for me. It's that it just doesn't seem right, you know?
Would you ever do? Would you ever do a dating show?
What'd you say?
Would you ever do a dating show?
When I was younger, I was asked to do that Finding Prince Charming show.
Oh God! Thank God you didn't do it.
Oh my God!
Yeah, that was like the most panned, judged, shamed show that you should be so proud you didn't do it.
But like, I mean, I would love to. I mean, I'm a romantic person, but the problem with me is always that I'm just like, I just don't want nonsense, and I don't want people fucking carrying on. And what I always found is that like the people who are attracted to the porn star or the stripper or all the carrying on that we do are often the people that are deeply enveloped into that reality that is narcissistic. It's all about likes, comments, and subscribes and all that. And that's fine if you're going to be like that. I'm like that myself. We're running a business here. But I compartmentalize the same way I don't bring my office home. Yep. You know, it's the same way. I don't want my porn office to be in the bedroom unless I'm working. You know, those are tax refund hours. You know, I want to have fun with one person. You know.
Would you be able to date somebody fluid?
I mean, everything that you're describing, I'm literally like, is he my soulmate?
Right.
No, I would be able to date someone fluid because, again, like I've told you, my biggest issues in relationship is like I just need somebody that allows me my independence.
Yeah.
I'm not going to care about who you're with or what you've been with. Like, we're in a different time now. We've all moved on. I care about somebody is like, are you going to be somebody that holds me back? That's what I care about. Like, are you going to be somebody where I'm like, I'm happier on my own. There's no point to just trying to make this work as opposed to just being happy on my own, which I am happy on my own. I know nobody believes that when I say them.
No, I 100% believe it. But the longer you're alone, the easier it is to just discount people because a little thing bothers you. You're like, well, I don't need them because I've been so alone.
That is true. I will give you that. That like the longer you are used to it, the more that you can be like one little irk, and you're like,
yeah.
Oh.
Like a mouth breather. Nope, can't do that.
Yeah, I mean, I can agree with that 100%. I'm very short with people if they do cross, like if they cross any boundaries or any trust boundaries. I'm very quick to be like, no, this isn't working. It's just, I think because we pack our lives full of like things that make us happy, and when somebody comes in and imposes onto that happiness and affects it, whether it's with their criticism or them telling you that you can't hook up with somebody, or just bending anyway, I think it's just difficult to say, I'm willing to sacrifice this happiness that I know I'm guaranteed if I'm alone, just so I can be with somebody else who potentially won't last long in my life and may not even enable me to do any great things, You never know.
I mean, like the last guy I dated made me shave.
What?
Yeah, and this was years. This was years ago.
That's
but
insane.
But like, and he dated me knowing I was hairy. But by the time we were like dating, he made me shave because he was like, I never liked it.
What?
That's like stripping you of your superpower.
Yeah, that's
Teddy.
literally.
But looking back on it, it was somebody he was a narcissistic, controlling, and he wanted to strip me of literally. That was actually the point where I finally, after that happened, that was when I finally ended things. I realized I'm like, you're trying to strip me of literally my being at this point. Like that's your goal.
And you know what's ironic is that you are so individual. You're the god of individuality. Hey,
literally.
So if you turn that right around and smack him in the face, be like, "Hey, now I'm on a show. Look at this guy you were trying to change."
Yeah, right. I'm not gonna lie. Like I am enjoying. I'm like, I know that somewhere on social media he's seen this, and it just makes me smile. I'm like, you motherfucker.
Just fully proud.
Mm-hmm.
And Eddie, you are writing a column for CyberSocket called The Danger Zone. What can readers look forward to?
Danger Zone.
Oh, you know what? I've been very grateful. Calm, a lot of calm. I've been I've had my hands in everything in this business. I wouldn't say I've been like incredibly successful in any one territory, but I have a general knowledge. And I'm kind of an expert in the field that I work in. So I'm trying to dispense knowledge. And one thing is that I do understand this is a porn magazine. So I have the freedom to go ahead and put pictures of like my cock and balls or Exhibit A, my anus after a rectal prolapse. Exhibit B, here is, you know what I mean? And so I can touch on all that stuff. At this point, I wanted to talk about the go-go dancing stuff for a moment and then bridge into this other little project I have coming in that might be interesting in the scope of what we're discussing here. But beyond that, I mean, I've got gangbang choreography that I still need to release. I'm also doing an interview series called Eddie Danger's Great Hall of Remarkable Cocks. And this is an interview series where I'm spotlighting only the greatest of cocks. And I've got my first one was Jesse Diamond. He's the trans jock with the post-op cock. Yeah. And he's I've been following these guys for years. And I know an awful lot about them, so I know exactly the right questions to ask that are really going to get some remarkable answers out of them. My next one is Sophia Presley, and that's a very fascinating article. I'm turning it in tonight. I'm very excited about it. What a cock on her! Let me tell you, she is she's like 6 foot something, and there's quite a remarkable unit on. She's the she-metress. She says she's ideal for men who like to fuck their weighted blanket.
Oh my God.
It's gonna be fun. I mean, I have a great time writing these things, and hopefully the readers enjoy it, because it's always gonna be something new and exciting because I get bored easily.
When you do have this education, you like I said, you're a published author, and so there's that part of your life as well. You're not just a pretty cock.
Thank you. I'm pretty. Thank you. Yeah, that's okay. I mean, the writing's fine. No, I mean, I've always been like, I've always been curious, you know, and it's really, you know, these are all like formal upbringings. You don't want to waste what you're good at, you know. So I spent a lot of time really having to understand my sexuality through the magic of hustler fantasy. You know, I once stole, when I was 13, I stole like a magazine from a 7-Eleven down the road. Hey, you know what? I want to try a porno. And I read it and I was like, we can do some magical things with words. So I became kind of into that. And I got into poetry and all that crap in college. And then grad school went and veered into a feminist literary theory direction. And it's been great because as I was studying the performativity of gender in my academic life, I would be able to fully live it out, dancing completely naked in front of people as a complete gendered body that needs to be contextualized with the art of the tease or the burlesque act, because otherwise I'm just a corpse up here naked with a flaccid penis that you can go ahead and look at. Here is the human body in all of its form. Sexy, right? But it's cool to have that like sort of critical perspective on the sex industry, especially navigating it as a traveler. You know, I get to be like, oh, this is fucking strange, and apply my critical perspective to that and gather what I can and then spit it back out to people. And that's what I'm doing in the Cybersocket column, is really just kind of making sure that people get the honest truth. Honest truth, there you go. Stupid. To get the facts of what's really going on and maybe some perspective that they haven't considered. I mean, i.e. porn labels, calling the labeling and the fetishization of trans bodies. That's what we're covering in this other column. But stuff like that, that really slips through the cracks of mainstream conversation. I want to bring out. Stuff like that. You know, like thinking about phallic authority with strap-ons. I'd love to talk about that.
I mean, I'm also glad you brought up though, like saying that like you're going to be talking about like the fetishization of trans bodies, because I've actually gotten in a fight with a few of friends before, because I've noticed in like groups, gay guys will like to do things like first they'll ask questions like, "Have you ever seen a vagina?" And again, like you said, like it's very misogynistic. We're just like, "It's a vagina, yes." And then the other thing they'll always ask is, "So, would you ever have sex with a trans person?" And like, I've confronted people when I said that. I'm like, are you asking that from just like a general like question, or are you asking that from almost a derogatory standpoint of like, you want to have this as this like fetishized bro moment to talk about? I'm like, that's a human person. Like, I don't, and I said that to a person before, and he was like, he literally said, he was like, "I'm mad that you're mad at me right now." And I'm like,
because nobody wants to admit when they're wrong or being ignorant or something. So, and I asked, what are you gonna do about them?
And I asked him, I was like, "So do you have any like?" I trying to explain to him, I was like, "Do you have any trans friends?" And he's like, "Well, like, I mean, I know some trans people on TV. I've seen them before." I'm like, "That's not having a trans friend."
No.
It's like I've encountered a lion. I watched the
So I'm sure. Yeah, I know all the knowledge of lions.
I know the knowledge
of lionology.
These people are nuts. I honestly I don't get it. A lot of people are fucking weird about porn, and they're always going for low-hanging fruit. And something that Sophia does discuss in this article, which is because I knew I had these concerns about the way I was labeling things, because I would work with trans people and be like, oh my god, how do I identify this performer in a respectable way, and how do I tag it? How do I get this stuff out to the audience? The problem is the audience is old, cheap, and they go for what they know, you know. So they're just like the tried and true SHEMALE, like that's what they go for. And if you want to be successful and get your content out there, sometimes you have to ask yourself, am I using the right tags? And so that's, you know, it's a problem. And I think that Sophia offers a pretty good solution in this interview I just did with her. And she says that it may be if sex workers and the porn industry had more conversation going on, then we would all come to an agreement as to how to run these things. But the problem is the antiquated sort of terminology and how people get access to it, you know, because like I started this interview saying like how we're all kind of trapped in these anxieties and these fears of like exploring outward. You know, I think a lot of people, they can't learn the vocabulary that's acceptable because they can't even come out themselves, you know, so they just stay trapped in this little world of like, you know, I'm going to click on that TRANNY tube site, and then I'm just gonna go with their fetishized terminology and how they depict people and all that creepy shit. But yeah, I don't know. I got a lot of opinions on this shit,
Well, so we can see the show on out
tomorrow. Well, I mean, when this episode airs, I don't know when this is going to air, but it'll be every Friday at, I think just every Friday is when it released and streaming on Out TV and Fruit TV in UK.
Oh, okay.
Fruit TV. That
I know.
took me a minute to figure out. Yeah.
Eddie, I always love chatting with you. I can't wait to see both you guys in the show. A lot of fun.
Well, of course, one thing relating to Teddy and I, James Mansfield's a huge fan of yours, by the way. She won't stop talking about you, Teddy.
Oh, I mean, she also, same here. I was just about to say, I was like, she has messaged me a lot about you too.
Oh.
So she's very excited for this episode.
I'm glad we're putting it all together. I'm super excited. Friday, I'm doing a viewing party, and I've got all sorts of crazy shit going on. I've got trivia. We got T-shirts we're giving people, and thanks to CyberSocket and Ride Bodyworks, right?
Yes.
And the good folks, yeah.
And CyberSocket and Eddie Danger are going to be at 340 Nightclub in Pomona for the all-male strip review. What's the date? I think it's June.
It's July 2nd, I believe.
Oh, yeah, July 2nd. So come out to 340, but Eddie and I will be on stage ripping it up.
Do you want to see that? I don't know if I'm going to bring the cat in the hat yet. I haven't figured that one out. But look at him. It's fucking weird. I got so many little things over here that open up and explode. It's going to be cool. I don't know if I can bring it though, so I got to figure that out. But I've got a big act I want to do.
We'll just go to Party City.
Yeah, and that's a compliment in our world because I heard a judge from Go for the Gold say that he got his finale look from Party City. That's the place to go. Yes.
Yeah, sponsored
Dragon
ad.
of Time.
Eddie, can you tell everybody where you want them to find you and follow you?
Okay, well, I'm posting 5-second porn clips free from my Just for fans over on Twitter at Eddie Dangerous. Somebody already took Eddie Danger, so I had to put a little Dangerous on there. So remember that. And then you can go watch all sorts of old porn, new porn, whatever fucking porn you're into. I've done it over the last fucking several years of me carrying on that site, but I finally opened it up. So like now, if you get to the Twitter, you'll be able to see some of the stuff that I was working on, but it was behind a paywall. So now that's out for the whole world to see, and you can find me at Eddie Danger on Instagram, and Pornhub, X videos. I'm doing it all. I've got my fingers in everybody and everywhere. So, and I'd like to get my fingers in Teddy Bear's hair.
Oh, there's a collaboration.
Yeah.
I know a lot of fans would be very excited to see that. Well, next time you're in LA, let me know.
Yep.
Okay, and then I could take that blow dryer to it. That whole thing. Talk about hairography, right?
That video is still blowing up on TikTok of me blow drying to Enya.
Yeah,
it's at 2 million. It's at 2 million views.
I love that.
Aw, well, I'm glad you found success outside Go for the Gold.
Living my dream.
Well, thank you so much, Teddy. You want to let everybody know where they can find you and follow you?
Yes, you can find me on Instagram and TikTok at Mr. Teddy Bear. Gurrrl.
And you can find me on Instagram at Alexander is on air, and that's our show. So until next time, stay sexy, stay hairy, stay Barry.
Yeah.
That has been another episode of Bear With Us, Girl, presented by Bear World Magazine and Cybersocket.com.
Please take a moment to like, subscribe, comment, rate, all the love and support you can give, guys.
Questions, comments, and suggestions? Email us at bearwithusgirl, 3 R's, @gmail.com.
Until next time, embrace the fur.
Grrr.